10.
Well, that's definitely enough to get off your spell, but unfortunately I'm afraid that it's going to reflect right off the Orcs Champion Shield and is now heading directly back to the main party.
What?
I'm going to leap out of the way using my Ring of Enhanced Agility.
What Ring of Enhanced Agility?
The one he got back at the Black Tower, remember?
I do, but unfortunately it doesn't appear to be there anymore.
I've had it on ever since we got it.
Ask the thief.
What? I'm a thief. What do I do? You're supposed to be a Robin Hood type of thief.
And you don't steal from the party, that's the basics.
Anyway, you've got your spell reflecting directly back towards you.
How? He's an Orc captain. They should be able to counter that spell.
Ah, but you notice he has this large golden shield and it's glowing ominously.
Since when? I think we would have noticed he had something like that when we ambushed him.
Ah, but you didn't ambush them. They ambushed you.
They did not. We opened the door and found them in the corridor.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Ambush is not the right word, but you were definitely surprised.
How? We rolled for our initiative for combat, just like always.
Yeah, I went first this round. That's why I stole Paz's ring.
Little brat.
So which is it, Gus? Did he have the shield the whole time and we were surprised, or are you just pulling this out of your ass again?
What do you mean pulling it out of my ass again?
Come on, low-level newbies, whole lot better gear. They're just here to slow us down.
No, this dungeon's running exactly the way I designed it.
Oh yeah? What about the flesh-eating unicorn herd?
That's a legitimate creature.
Didn't find it in rulebook.
I pulled it from a bestiary website.
Yeah, right.
Give me back my ring, KO.
Finders keepers, pal.
Just give him the ring back, kid.
Oh, maybe we should take a break, guys.
You're giving me that ring back, no matter what.
You can't blame me. This is the first time I played an
Vorpal sword can do?
I'm gonna take that ring back.
Well, I got the ring currently, so I'm more agile than
What
you.
else am I supposed to do?
Oh, you're gonna get it.
All right, that's it!
Last dungeon then.
For the last 6 months, every time we've gotten together, the game gets bogged down with arguments and infighting, and I've had it.
You okay, Dad?
No, I'm not okay. We have skills and abilities that should complement each other perfectly, but we've got about as much teamwork as a sack of wet cats.
Well, if somebody wouldn't keep stealing from the party.
No, you don't get it. It's not just that. In terms of personalities, our characters should get along great. I think as players, we need a little remedial lesson in teamwork.
What do you mean?
This.
Seriously?
That show?
You gotta be kidding me.
No, I'm serious. I am not continuing with the game until I show you all how a real RPG party should act.
Real RPG party? Right.
Help me out here, Gus.
He's right. We've been arguing a lot lately. Maybe watching this would give us some breathing room.
Okay.
Worth a shot.
If you say so.
Not a chance. I came here to game, not watch some show I've been trying to forget for the past 30 years.
And you don't think looking at this show will be helpful?
No, not at all.
Okay, if you say so, Larry.
What the hell just happened?
Dad, you're not...
Oh, I am. We don't have time to watch the whole show, so we're going to review it instead.
Whatever, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you next month. How'd you do that?
Welcome to the wonderful world of internet reviewing. Nobody leaves till the review's done.
You're a bastard. You know that?
Yep, on with the show.
This tube is the most awesome goddamn force in the whole godless world. And woe is us if it ever falls into the hands of the wrong people. TV party tonight! TV party tonight! TV party tonight! TV party tonight! We're gonna have a TV party tonight. All right! We're gonna have a TV party, all right! Tonight! We've got nothing better to do than watch TV and have a couple of brews. Don't talk about anything else. We don't wanna know. We're dedicated to our favorite shows. That's incredible! Hill Street Blues! Dallas! Wednesday! No TV party tonight!
Greetings all, I'm Dubious Khan, and with me are the members of my gaming group.
Gus?
Dale.
James?
Pause.
Annalee.
Larry.
Come on, Larry. We're gonna be here for a while. You might as well have a little bit of fun with it.
What, like a root canal?
And welcome into the Idiot Box, where we take a look at television of the past and present and try to figure out where things went so horribly, horribly wrong.
I've got an answer for that one.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, you take a classic RPG and turn it into a god-awful cartoon series.
In case you haven't guessed, we're looking at Dungeons & Dragons. Dungeons & Dragons premiered in 1983 and ran for 3 years on CBS's Saturday morning lineup. It followed the adventures of 6 kids who found themselves in another dimension simply called The Realm after an unusual roller coaster ride.
Exactly. Where's the dice? Where's the character sheets? Where's the game?
What do you mean?
Okay, supposedly this is based after the game. Where's the game? You got a bunch of kids getting on an amusement park ride, ending up in a fantasy world. Other than the 5-headed dragon, where's the connection to the game?
Well, there's the Dungeon Master.
Oh yeah, trust Gus to latch onto the GM of the series.
Hey!
Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Who here remembers the characters?
I do.
Okay, who are they?
The main characters are Hank the Ranger, the leader of the group, Diana, the acrobat who serves as the second in command, and badass action girl.
And the token black character, you can't forget about that.
What's wrong with that?
Well, if I remember correctly, she's the only black character we ever see.
Well, it was the 80s. I mean, what do you expect? The same kind of blatant tokenism that requires every show to have a minority?
Annalee, you want to take this next bit?
Oh, Tumblr's just gonna love this review, Dad.
Shut up, son.
Anyway, the rest of the group consists of Presto, who naturally is the obligatory nerdy wizard whose magic never works right. Then there's Sheila the thief and her younger brother Bobby, who, appropriate for an 8-year-old, is a barbarian. And then there's Eric, the cavalier.
Ugh, that guy.
What's the problem?
He's just the worst character in the series, that's all. He's a snobby rich kid who's also a cowardly little egomaniac. So his only 2 characteristic traits are either acting like a clod or wetting his pants and running away. There's nothing redeemable about him.
It's a bit harsh, don't you think?
Prove me wrong.
Hey, I've seen this show too. Khan, bring up the city on the edge of midnight.
Whatever you say, Shatner.
Okay, Eric's kind of a jerk. He's actually the only one of the kids who has a realistic reaction. How would you feel if you were uprooted from everything you know and dropped into a world of where magic actually worked and filled with everything else trying to kill you?
He's still an ass, even allowing for that.
Maybe, but when the chips are down, the episode shows where your priorities are.
He is gone, little one.
Ramood! Where'd they go?
To the city at the edge of midnight. This is what happened to my daughter, my Aisha. Stolen by the beast who has no name. He is known only as the Nightwalker.
Remember the dummy who said forget going to that city? Well, forget forgetting it. Let's get that thing open! Abracadabra, Malakazir. When you're ready.
My children, are you ready?
There's no time like the present! Let's go!
See? Nice guy under it all, even if he does act like a jerk.
What about a villain?
What?
This is an 80s cartoon, right? I mean, there's always this big, power-mad villain going around causing trouble for the heroes.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. Venger was cool. He was out to take control of the whole realm with only 2 things standing in his way. The kids and Tiamat.
Tiamat?
Tiamat. Tiamat was the 5-headed queen of the dragons and the only being in the realm Venger fears. In order to conquer the realm, he needed to defeat Tiamat, and the only way he could do that is if he had the magic weapons the kids have. Where all the conflict comes from.
Yeah, if you want to call them weapons.
What's the problem now?
Honestly, only 3 of the things I have can be called weapons. Hank's bow, Diana's staff, and Bobby's club. Presto's magic hat is unreliable, and as for the others, Sheila has an invisibility cloak, and Eric's got a magic repelling shield. Useful, but not weapons. I mean, nobody's got a sword, which you would think somebody would have in a sword and sorcery cartoon.
Okay, you have a point, but you're old enough to remember that TV was actually a lot less permissive about violence back in the 80s. You had parental action groups up in arms about everything in kids' cartoons back then. That's why Cobra and G.I. Joe were such lousy shots.
Why nobody was ever allowed to actually punch anybody in He-Man.
Why you never saw the puppies go rabid and start attacking innocent bystanders left and right, causing a rabies epidemic like the likes of which you've never seen before?
What?
I don't think I want to sit next to you anymore.
So the kids have to defeat Venger?
Not exactly. The main thrust of the series is them attempting to find a way back home.
So how do they know what to do or where to go?
Well, the same way we do in the game, the Dungeon Master. In this series, the Dungeon Master isn't exactly a wizard, but he does have a great magical power. He always seems to know what's going on in the realms and what crises the kids need to deal with. And like any good DM, he doesn't exactly tell them outright.
But remember, the fate of one is shared by all. Once a year, for only 60 seconds, the waters of this mystical river flow up into the sky. They will take you wherever you want to go.
But where will we find this river?
Just follow that path. But beware, you must never touch the beauty that breathes the beast.
But how do we stop Demo Dragon?
By helping the one who stands against you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Except for the ones that are really painfully obvious.
What do you mean?
Bring up the first episode, will you?
Sure.
Okay, the Dungeon Master gives them a lead on where to go, and offers his usual helpful cryptic riddles.
Great answer for once. How do we get out of this world?
Patience, Cavalier. All things have a purpose, including your presence here. Tonight is the celebration in the village of Helix. You will journey to the north for it. There you may find something that will help you get back home. Helix was once at the mercy of flying dragons who attacked at night, but good magic drove them away. Now, on your way, you must fear only the many faces of evil, all known as Venger. You shall know his newest face by his white hair. Beware, young adventurers.
And then later in the episode, oh look, the wizard they were sent to see has a white hair, which was a warning sign they got about the person they were being their enemy. And of course, it's Venger. But it takes them most of the episode to realize it. This doesn't actually convince an audience that they're the most intelligent bunch out there.
Alright, you know what? You're right. The first episode is terrible.
Thank you.
But that doesn't mean that the rest of the series is bad. Honestly, even with the restrictions on the show from standards and practices, it did push the envelope in storytelling for Saturday morning. There was actual peril, interesting stories, and shockingly enough, character development. In fact, each kid got their own episode that focused on them as individuals. From Hank having to deal with an ethical issue that gets him branded as a traitor to the rest of the group, to Diana being forced to make a choice between saving a life or going home, to Eric learning what exactly it means to be the Dungeon Master. This actually makes them a lot more interesting to watch.
I'll grant you that. But this is supposed to be about teamwork. Yeah, the group does well against Venger and whatever. And yes, they get their own episodes. But Venger's still too over the top to be taken seriously.
Well, what do you want from the show then?
Show me something with the power of a major demon. Something that can destroy them all. Venger, the DM, anybody. I bet you there's nothing out there that rivals the power of...
Jesus! Holy buckets!
What the hell is that?
Name is not for your ears, barbarian. He is not life as we know it. He has many identities on many different worlds, but all know him as evil.
Was that?
I think so.
Couldn't be.
Who else could it be?
Dad?
Yes.
Was that the devil?
More or less. This is the episode The Dungeon at the Heart of Dawn, where, thanks to Eric, a signal gets sent out into the universe which draws this thing, who has no official name, to the realm, and he begins destroying everything. After chasing the kids and the Dungeon Master around the realm, Dungeon Master's power is sapped to the point that he's essentially dying. And the thing, which Venger calls Master, isn't too happy with him either. So they all end up on the run in the underworld, the kids trying to save Dungeon Master, and Venger trying to take advantage of the situation. And this is actually the focus of the episode. At the end, however, the entire cast joins forces to fight the evil ravaging the realm.
And they kick his ass?
Not exactly. When the group gets to the surface, the entity has left the realm to cause more havoc, and the Dungeon Master ominously pronounces that it will return.
And let me guess, they canceled the show before they could revisit this plotline.
Now you're getting the hang of this.
Okay, look. I can keep an open mind. And it may not have been as terrible as I remember. But they're still not working as a team. You show me where they're working as one team against one goal, and I'll stop harping on the show.
Okay. How about an episode where they decide to take the fight to Venger and finish him off once and for all?
Ooh, I remember that episode. It was called The Dragon's Graveyard, and after the kids finally get fed up with all the ways they find to go home being consistently abandoned or destroyed because Venger seems to always show up to force them to change their plans, they tell the Dungeon Master to stuff it and ask him how to get rid of Venger once and for all.
Dungeon Master! I am sorry that your quest for a way home met with failure. Perhaps you will have better luck in the future. But now, there is great danger ahead. The Duke of Darkness has taken over the land of...
Wait, Dungeon Master. We only want to hear two things. How do we find Tiamat, and how do we use her to beat Venger once and for all?
Listen to me, Ranger. Do not let your anger control you. The course you are taking can only lead to ruin. So then, it has come to this. Tiamat lives where the dragons go to die, the place that is the source of your weapons, the dragon's graveyard. As for how to use her to overcome Venger...
No riddles. Tell us straight.
Ask her. She may help you. But then, she may not. May I go now?
At the Dragon's Graveyard, the kids manage to tell Tiamat that they intend to destroy Venger once and for all, and Tiamat tells them that their weapons are even more powerful in the graveyard, as this is where they all came from in the first place. Tiamat goes to lure Venger to them, the kids get the upper hand, they manage to immobilize Venger, and Hank prepares himself to take the final shot.
It's up to you, Hank.
What are you gonna do?
If I did, we'd be no better than you are. We've beaten you, and you know it. Do you understand, Venger? I didn't do it for you. I did it for us.
Okay, now that was just stupid. He could have ended all the pain and suffering right then. Why didn't he take the shot?
Because it would have been murder?
Who cares? It's for the greater good.
Yeah, but it's also against the rules.
What rules?
Of the game. They couldn't have done something like that without it have been a major alignment infraction. In fact, if they'd gone through with it, it probably would have led to a forced alignment shift.
We don't know that, because we don't know what their alignments would have been in character.
Actually, yes we do.
What's that?
This is the series handbook for the animated series for 3rd edition D&D. Officially published by Wizards of the Coast with official game stats for all the major characters.
Yeah, that's nice, but that came out after the series.
Well, wait, the alignment system's been around since AD&D, which is when the cartoon came out. If we're still going by the alignment system, it should still be relevant, right?
Yeah, you would think that, but I don't think their alignments would prohibit them from killing for the greater good.
Alright, well, let's take a look here. Let's see, according to this, Bobby is chaotic good. Presto, Sheila, and Eric are all neutral good. Which means, yeah, Diana and Hank are both lawful good. And as I recall, killing a helpless foe is a very big no-no if you're a lawful good character, no matter which edition of D&D you're using.
Yeah, I guess the show does reflect more of the game than I thought. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's not a big deal, but you guys all get my point, right? This is a group of such wildly disparate personality types that there's no way that they should be able to get anything done. And yet, not only do they have success after success, but yeah, eventually they did manage to defeat Venger once and for all at the end of the series.
Wait a sec. The series was canceled. The story never ended.
Well, you're right, and then again, you're wrong. While there were only 27 total episodes of Dungeons & Dragons produced, there were actually 28 scripts written. The final script, Requiem, was written by Michael Reeves and was meant to serve a dual purpose. A, send the show into a new direction if CBS picked it up for another season, or B, provide an ending to the series if they didn't. Unfortunately, CBS canceled the show before the script even made it into the storyboard stage. But when BCI Eclipse released the series on DVD in 2007, they included a full cast reading of the Requiem script in an audio drama format, with Katie Lee reprising a role as Sheila and other well-known voice actors taking up the other roles.
I'd like to hear that. Where can I get a copy of that set?
You can't.
Why?
BCI Eclipse went bankrupt.
Yeah, and they lost all the rights to all the shows that they licensed. Now, Mill Creek Entertainment did pick up the show on DVD, and you can get it for about $10, but they did drop all the special features that BCI did, and that includes the script reading.
Well, that just sucks.
Look, I've still got the BCI edition. Maybe after the game I can load it up and you can experience it for yourselves.
Hey, speaking of the game, can we get back to it? I think we've all learned our lesson.
Which is?
If these kids who weren't seasoned adventurers can put aside their differences and make a big impact on their world, then us, who get along much better, should be able to make an even bigger impact.
And we shouldn't do things that tick off other party members.
And maybe some things from our past aren't as horrible as we remember them.
Yeah, okay, this is starting to turn into an after-school special, so why don't we get back to the game before someone asks for a group hug?
I demand a group hug!
No!
Alright, let me just wrap this up really quick. From the standards set by your typical 80s cartoon, Dungeons & Dragons was ahead of its time. It placed its characters in ethical situations that you just didn't see in kids' shows back then. The writing was excellent and pushed the envelope in terms of storytelling as much as they could get away with. The voice cast is excellent, with great work done by veteran voice actors Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, and even some TV celebrities of the time got into the act, with Willie Ames and Adam Rich from 8 is Enough playing Hank and Presto, and Donnie Most from Happy Days playing Eric. Now, some of the animation does have timing errors, but considering this was made in the pre-internet era and most of the actual animation was being done by legendary anime studio Toei, I think the detail and creativity of the people and creatures of the realm more than makes up for it.
Seen a halfling before.
We can't see you now.
Oh, oh, sorry. Oh, Hector the halfling, if you please.
Back to the game, for the love of God, back to the game.
Yeah, sorry, that's my fault. I completely forgot that was in there. Let's just sign off and end the review. I'm Dubious Khan.
I'm KO Khan.
I'm Gus.
I'm James.
I'm Paz.
I'm Annalie.
I'm Roy. I'm Larry.
Join me next time for another trip into the Idiot Box.
Okay, James, the Orc Captain doesn't actually have a magical shield, so your spell goes through. Please roll for damage.
Gus, I'm gonna toss Paz's ring back to him, saying, "You drop this back here."
Excellent. Pause. You hear KO shout, reach up, grab your ring, put it on, and you get +2 to all rolls you make this round.
Awesome.
I rolled 32 for damage, Gus.
Excellent. Your magic bolt goes directly into the Orc Captain's face, causing it to explode outward and showering his troops in brain matter and bloody bone chips.
Hey, I always said orcs only had half a brain.
Oh, that's bad, and you should feel bad.
Okay.
Okay.
So with the Orc Captain dead, I need to start making morale
We're all
towers.
trying to get them out of here. They're so gone. Boy.
You've got that magic.
No, I still got a chance here.
Move around to the other side and take it.
Yeah.
So we can go up there and start backstabbing those bad guys.
I'm the king of thieves.
You don't look a thing like Kevin Costner.
Stop it.